Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a really lovely car. This is a Lexus IS250 and it's the top of the range SEL model. This is an automatic. It's pretty much, we don't sell the manuals generally. That's looked at, sought after really. This car's covered just 53,000 miles. It's a real rarity and it is in a condition to match. It's absolutely lovely. Front of the car, lenses are nice and clear, intact without any cracks or condensation in them. Bumper's very clean, as is the bonnet, which hardly exhibits a stone chip anywhere. Near side of the car, absolutely indentation free, no car parking dinks. Near side front alloy, generally good, just the lightest of curbing on the outside edge, which you're naturally going to get on the near side wheel. It's one that's closest to the curb, of course. Sorry, the wind's picking up, so I hope you can still hear me. Near side rear alloy, again, generally very good. The alloys are much better than you ordinarily see on these Lexus. Back, again, very clean and tidy. Round to the off side of the car, driver's side, again, beautifully smooth in the panel work. It really has been very well kept. Offside rear alloy, again, absolutely spot on. Remaining panels, absolutely lovely. And final alloy, apart from the odd tiny mark, it's actually in lovely condition. It's going to be one of the very finest examples out there. Let's go into the boot of the car. Good sized boots on the car, and it's been kept in very nice condition. It's coming to the back now. Full black leather interior on this car, and it's been in absolutely lovely condition. Coming in on the driver's side, again, all incredibly clean. Electric memory seat on these SELs, even on the passenger side. And the passenger seat there shows virtually no wear at all. Finally coming in on the driver's side, again, door card lovely and clean. Same with the footwell areas. There's obviously a full set of original Lexus mats in the car. And driver's seat for a car that's now 16 years old, that is in incredible condition. So inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running so the dash can be seen illuminated. Dashboard is in beautiful condition, really is. And to come up to the main dash binnacle for you, you can see there 53,916 miles, and the only warning light on is for low fuel, so obviously a drop of fuel will soon sort that out. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS250, and it's the SEL model. This car is registered NX56OVT, and the car has a mileage of just 53,916 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, as I say in each and every one of them, is very simple. It's because we have been to see lots of cars, like many people, and only to get there and find out when you've driven it there's an obvious fault which you'd much rather known about before setting off. So that's why we do it. We also do them on these very quiet country roads in this lovely part of Gloucestershire. First of all, an apology. It's a lovely sort of late autumn winter day, but the sun's low and so it might be a bit glary, but I've got to do the videos when I can, so I do apologise. This, by the way, forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the theory being, hopefully, that it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. Coming to the car, it has been very well looked after. I can't remember how many services, 10 services or something like that. It's, you know, very well maintained, and it feels it as soon as you drive the car. Sometimes you get in the car, no matter how good they might be as a manufacturer, but they just feel a bit kind of older, a bit loose. Not at all this. It feels as tight as a drum in every single way. Push button starts, obviously, to start the engine, and it's a glorious engine. It's whisper quiet, the V6, but it pulls really keenly. You know, you put your foot down and it goes. Obviously you can select power mode, I think, on the gearbox from memory. There's a little switch there, but basically it just responds. But when it responds, it's so quiet. It's, you know, virtually sorry, excuse me, kick my foot. It's just the level of refinement is astonishing in the car. You know, it betters pretty much any modern car in that respect. There's very few cars that would be as refined as this, even in this day and age. And it is a lovely unit. It really, really is. And of course, being Lexus, they're incredibly long-lasting and reliable. There are, by the way, no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Aside that is, as I mentioned before, just the fuel lights currently on, which will go out when I put some fuel in it. Temperature gauge just under half, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these when they're up to full operating temperature, and it's been running for some time now. The engine then feeds into the auto gearbox, which is like the engine. It's just so slick. The whole driving experience is of a, you're in an extraordinarily well-engineered car. As soon as you get in and drive it and just press any button or do anything, everything has that. The attention to detail is it's amazing, absolutely amazing. Not a gearbox, by the way, like the engine. We've never touched one, but you should do the same checks on any automatic car, regardless of the reputation of the manufacturer. Just make sure that when you're on the move, the gear changes are smooth, and they are perfect in that sense in this one. And when you select drive or reverse from stationary to neutral, just make sure it engages without any great clonks or thunks, and again, it's absolutely perfect. Coming to the steering of the car, because it's rear wheel drive, it's my favourite type of steering because it's unpolluted by drive shafts at the front, basically. It's got a lovely kind of oily precision to the steering. It's kind of in between two extremes. You get in a BMW 3 Series and it'll have quite direct, or an Alfa Romeo, very direct steering, very, as soon as you turn in, the car's going, and they're kind of hyperactive, but in a quite a nice way. Then you get to kind of the other extreme, kind of things like Audis and Mercedes, where they're slightly more slovenly in their steering inputs, and this sits in the middle ground really nicely. It basically means you've just got total control over the car. It feels very confident. It's really accurate and precise, and works beautifully with the chassis. It tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations, by the way, at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit, actually. And the chassis is just joyful. Driving along now, just flowing with the traffic, it's so comfortable. It's beautifully damped. Again, it's very hard to get, if you want an out-and-out sports saloon, you would go for something like a 3 Series, in all honesty, as much as I hate saying it, because they are better in that sense, but they don't ride like this. So for the 5% of the time you're driving quickly, it'll be a better car. For the other 95%, you're going to rattle your brains by comparison to this thing. And again, this one just sits in a better position than some of the others that like the Audi and the Mercedes I mentioned. They are very comfortable, but there's no kind of excitement or verve to their chassis. This one has got a lovely balance to it. It flows through corners really nicely. The transitions from changes of direction are absolutely brilliantly done. Also, that section of road, by the way, is awful. It's absolutely pitted, which is why I talk about it now. There's absolutely no rattles or clonks or thunks coming from underneath the vehicle at all that shouldn't be there, so all absolutely spot on. Brakes, just going to give them a good shove, make sure no one's behind me. Really good brakes on the car, nice and powerful. Worth pointing out that obviously all these things are going to be checked by an independent MOT, which will be done hopefully in the next couple of days or so. And finally, coming inside the car, and this is, I sometimes go on about it in the videos, and I'm aware of that, but this is real build quality. This is where it still irks me when they do the road tests when they're brand new. They always tend to go for Mercedes and BMW and Audi. Build quality is amazing, and they're very well built cars. But build quality is how it stays together over the duration, over time, and that's where Lexus are astonishingly good. There's no squeaks or rattles from the interior. It's sort of hewn out of stone. It's just got that kind of lovely feeling of solidity, and it's so quiet in here. Lack of wind noise, lack of other noises, sort of rumblings or anything else in the chassis. It's It really is. It's very hard to get over on the videos actually, but when you drive one, you'll know exactly what I mean. And this one's been kept in just beautiful condition. It's in stunning condition in here, ridiculous for its age really. And what a joyful place to sit. You've got a fantastic driving position, incredibly comfortable seats, obviously heated and cooled, and that checked it's all working. But you've got a dashboard that's, by modern standards, just blissfully simple to get in and drive and operate, because basically you get in and drive it. There's no thinking about it. A day or two in the car and you've mastered everything, whereas you need to sort of do a degree to understand how sort of most modern cars work, and sort of sub-menus, just basic functions, take your eyes off the road, which it shouldn't. Then this is where these are superb. Worth pointing out things like the air conditioning's lovely and cold. We checked that in a nice warm workshop earlier on. As I said, heated seats work perfectly. Dash pinnacle in front is just, again, the detailing of it is absolutely superb. It's just so simple yet so beautifully presented. And you've got this lovely small diameter steering wheel, leather bound, again hardly any buttons on it by modern standards, which is really, really nice. Again, every button you're going to press in this car, everything you turn or operate or touch or put your hands on, has a real feeling of ingrained engineering into it. They've put lots of effort into everything in the car. It's why they're special. It's also why they're not actually that cheap, nor should they be. Certainly this one, this has got so much life left in it, and it's been beautifully looked after. As I said at the start, the point of the video literally just to show the car operating, and I can find nothing wrong. It drives absolutely perfectly.